Hello, and welcome to CNET's 2023 election coverage. I'm Jeff Rushton of StateCollege.com, and today we're profiling the race for State College Borough Council. And with me today is Nalini Krishnankutty, who is running for a two-year term. Nalini, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, good morning, Jeff.
So just to start, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and your background?
Sure. So I'd just like to start off by saying I'm currently serving on Borough Council, and I have been now, hard to believe, but I've been serving for about 15 months. So on Borough Council, and then also on the Council of Governments, I serve on the Finance Committee. So those are two aspects of the current role. I'm a long-term resident of State College, Penn State alum, have lived in the Green Tree neighborhood for close to 30 years, raised a child in State College. I work as a diversity, inclusion, and belonging program manager in Penn State, and that's a whole lot of the work I do to try to build an inclusive community. So it's really been great to use different aspects of my positions to try and build some town gown kind of initiatives. And have been in public service in the sense of serving the community for almost all the time I was here since '87.
Yeah. So after 15 months into the appointment to council, why did you decide you want to run to complete the rest of this term?
That's a great question. So I think I might have shared before that I was tapped to run for council in maybe 2022, and I was serving on the Governor's Commission at that point, which was on a Governor's Advisory Commission on Asian Pacific American Affairs, which is a nonpartisan commission in the midst of anti-Asian hate. I decided not to run at that time because I really wanted to use that nonpartisan position to elevate some voices. Plus, I had never thought of running. So when somebody tapped me to run, it was something new for me to think about this. But when the vacancy came of Rich Beaver, and I had some time to think about it, so when I was kind of asked again, I was ready, because I really realized the importance of using your voice to elevate issues. I had by then served as the first elected chair of the Community Oversight Board, and so all of those experiences were beginning to show me the Governor's Advisory Commission, the Community Oversight Board, that you really can use that spirit of service to elevate issues that are important to me as well as the community. So when I applied and then got onto council, the last 15 months have been really instructive. I like I said, I serve on the Finance Committee of COG, so I'm able to see the first year itself. We're going through our second budget for me, my second budget cycle, but just the potential to collaborate regionally, do things that are good for the community, and also on council. I've seen two things. One is I come to this always with, people talk about servant leadership, and I call it an inclusive servant leadership model, that I'm really committed to listening. I'm really committed to doing that with humility and wonder, in the sense of there's a lot that maybe I don't know, and a growth mindset. I'm willing to learn. So I come in with the values of I want to have a sustainable community, a vibrant community, an inclusive community, respect the past, and kind of think about the future. But I'm always willing to listen and engage. So I saw that you can do that here, so engaging with the residents. But then once you hear what's important and what we can do, there's also that opportunity to engage then with state level leaders, with Penn State leaders, and then work together to try to come to solutions. So I've really appreciated the privilege of serving, and representation matters, right? So if I get elected, and this is, for me, this is 2023, but if I get elected, I will actually be the only woman on council. So it's just, I think, so using that, I feel like I can use the next 2 years. I've learned, there's a learning curve, and I can use the next 2 years to build on this and do something better. So that's why I decided to run for the 2-year term. And really what I want to use that actually to increase engagement, so that by the next time around, we have more women on council, more just a diverse representation, not just women, diversity of voices. But that's why.
Right.
Yeah.
As you're well aware, the borough is going through a zoning rewrite, a comprehensive zoning rewrite. What do you think are the most, some of the most important issues that need to be addressed in that?
That's a great question. So first zoning rewrite, and the first one in 50 years that's comprehensive, right? So we've had, I think, 200 plus amendments that have been piecemeal amendments, and some of them have had unintended consequences, right? So for me, I think there is the issue of affordable housing. So we do want to try to create housing for that missing middle. We also want to be cognizant of the needs of residents. We have, I think, 30% of the borough is owner-occupied housing, and those residents expect to have a certain kind of state college, but also housing is so expensive, we are pricing people out. So there are a lot of competing interests, and so for me, balancing that out with figuring out what we want State College to look like. So for me, what's important actually is that we are right now, we just got the timeline at our last meeting that maybe it's in the second quarter of 2024 that we will actually have this completed. And so my biggest thing I would say is we focus on affordable housing, we focus on the kind of state college we want, we focus on, are there opportunities to do sustainable transport, move in a certain different direction for transportation, look at it holistically, look at whether there's some regional things we can do. But the biggest and most important thing, I think, is that there's an opportunity for residents of State College to engage now, right? So it's thanks to COVID, but our meetings are hybrid. And there's a public hour, and we are hearing, there are residents who are now committed, they come to every meeting, and they do speak up about the points of view that they hold. And I really, truly appreciate them. And so what I want to actually use this opportunity, I think what's most important is for the residents of State College who have a view, or I think everybody has a view and knows what they want, but sometimes people are busy, right? And they don't have the time to come to our meetings. So I would really request those who can engage to engage. And I think the other thing I've been thinking about a lot is whether we as council can begin to also go to places where people are, right? And use this opportunity to truly see how can we understand what the residents of State College want, while using the values that guide us. We have a plan and move forward. I don't know if that quite answers what my issues are, but I have some guiding principles, and then I want to listen to what people want.
Great. Is there more that you think the borough can be doing to increase the stock of affordable housing in State College?
I think there are things we could be doing. I'm told by, if you went to some of the conversations we've been having, we are actually a model for many other places, and we are ahead of the curve in terms of how we do public-private partnership. But I think we could be doing more. We could be partnering, I think, some innovative ways, maybe with the university, to see what we could do, whether. And there are models for this where the universities have come in and stepped in collaboration. And even at Penn State, long time ago, there was employee housing on campus, right? So there are models. I think we need to engage. I think we could be doing more, yeah.
State College recently had 2 incidents of anti-Semitic propaganda being distributed in a neighborhood in downtown, and that's not the first time in recent years that sort of hateful imagery and literature has been anonymously distributed in the borough. Is there anything you think council can be doing to address this and to demonstrate that State College is an inclusive and welcoming place?
Definitely. The first thing is, words are not the end in of it themselves. They're not the end. But we have always spoken out. Not just this council, but all councils. And I say this because I think it was after 9/11, in 2016, there was anti-immigrant literature around. There was, during COVID, we've had anti-Asian hate, and the kind of literature now, anti-Semitic, against people of color, immigrants. We've had this happen, and every time Borough Council, the first thing to do is always to stand up and say, that we are against this, there's no place for hate. And so that's the first step. In the midst of anti-Asian hate, at that time, I mean, I was not on council, but I was part of the Panapida, of the Governor's Commission and the Panapida Circle. We had reached out to Borough Council. Kevin Kassab was the community engagement person at that time, and we designed, Kevin designed these State College No Place for Hate. And at the bottom of it, there's an opportunity to put different things then, Asian Month, and have these banners all around town. Again, it's just a demonstration, but it's a step. And one of the things we've done this time too, like these banners as we enter, you can see them out there. So it's just, these are just very distinct ways of just stating that we are against it. So resolutions, all of that. While we may think they don't matter, they matter because silence is deafening, right? If you, as you enter the borough, on the table, you can see there are flyers on how to report hate bias. And these were created by the Panapida Circle, of which I'm a co-founder, or one of the founding members, not co-founder, there's many. There's 8 or 12 of us who were the founding members, that's why Circle. But we designed that flyer with the help of all regional police and Penn State Police. They've gone through that. And it shows us how you can actually do this reporting. And then again, with the help of the Borough Engagement Office, Kevin Kassab, we got it translated to 10 most required languages in State College. And so these are just some efforts of saying, and Chief Gardner at the meeting said, he wants to hear from people. So we are here. So this is the step of addressing it after it happens. And I think we can also do active work before this happens. And a lot of it is engaging with communities that feel minoritized, underrepresented, underprivileged, undervalued sometimes, and seeing how we can support them. Like, what are people feeling? So I think we really need to be out there listening.
Well, we have about 30 seconds left, so I'll give you this opportunity to share anything else you would like to with the voters.
I just want to say it's been a privilege to serve, and I'm really honored to be on the ballot. I have been knocking on doors, even though I've been unopposed in the primary as well as now, and it's been an honor to actually it's been a learning experience to know what residents care about. And when I was in Foxdale at the coffee hour, we had discussions about how the borough, some of the sidewalks were having issues, and I told them about this app they could use to report. See a crack, you take a picture, and then upload it, and the borough will take care of it. Well, Foxdale residents, some of them are doing that, but some of them have actually been taking pictures and sending it to me. And so when they do that, I then forward it on to borough staff, and we make sure it's taken care of. So I want to say, if elected, I want to continue that engagement. I am here, send an email, talk to me, and in my neighborhood, other places, whenever there have been issues, I've been always willing to engage and then take it to Borough Council, staff, and see what we can do, always moving things forward. So I want to say that's the kind of council member I want to be, and this is something my parents did, just had service in their blood and always were really inclusive and looking forward. So I hope that I get to do this next 2-year term. And I also want to say, please go and vote. A lot of very important seats up for stake, school board, commissioners, all of this reflects our future. Many municipalities have supervisors and council members being. So I'd really encourage everybody to go out and vote, and how can we get 100% turnout? But thank you.
Well, thank you for joining us. We've been talking with Nalini Krishnankutty, Democratic candidate for the 2-year seat on State College Borough Council. Election day is Tuesday, November 7th, and you can also vote by mail. For more information, visit centercountyvotes.gov. I'm Jeff Rushton of statecollege.com. Thanks for joining us, and please be sure to vote.